All right, so let's get a grip on this. Europe says if you can't have a peace deal in Ukraine without us, but look who's building armies behind the scenes. The U.S. and Ukraine just rolled out a revised peace framework after the new talks. Zelensky and the U.S. negotiators made it clear, if war ends, we talk sovereignty, front lines, and real Ukrainian interests, finally. Meanwhile, EU leaders push back, calling the plan just a draft, demanding amendments and insisting the EU and NATO must control the outcome, even though Ukraine's not in NATO and not in the EU, as you know. So think about that. They claim to want peace, but they block a deal unless Europe gets to shape it. They want Ukraine to shrink its army and let the EU-NATO clan decide its future. And while all this is happening, Germany announces, hey, we're building the strongest conventional army in Europe. Who remembers the last two times Germany did that? World War I and World War II. So let me be very clear here. Ukraine and the U.S. should be left to work out peace directly with Russia. No power grabs, no EU-NATO preconditions, no globalist fingerprints. If Europe actually wants peace, they either support the deal or get out of the way. And here's what most don't realize. Trump already started the process. He circumvented the globalists when he did that deal in China, the deal in Saudi Arabia, and in the UAE, and now he's doing it in Ukraine. The plan is unfolding to take America back, and the EU elites, they're panicking because they are not about protecting Ukraine at all. They're about building a war machine infrastructure, expansion, influence, and control. And we can't let warmongers brand themselves as peacekeepers. So watch their actions. Don't be fooled by their speeches. Real peace happens with sovereignty, not with mandates from globalist-controlled talking heads who have zero legitimacy in this deal. Remember, the original 28-point peace plan was heavily revised after Ukraine raised red flags. EU leaders from Germany, France, the UK, and others publicly declared it's just a draft because they want veto power over Ukraine's future. So ask yourself, is Europe pushing peace or control? Because when you demand authority over other countries' borders, military, and alliances, you're not mediating, you're taking over. Ukraine has been called a sovereign nation for 3 years by the EU and NATO, and now suddenly it's only sovereign if they obey the EU terms? Unbelievable how they lie to our faces, and so many are pushing that same narrative. Forcing EU-NATO preconditions on peace doesn't end this war. It extends it under the disguise of security. So these entire EU-NATO demands are a farce, and the world is finally seeing it for what it is. And to the EU leaders who keep trying to insert themselves into a peace process they have nothing to do with, von der Leyen, Kallas, Merz, Steinmeier, Macron, it's time to step aside. History's watching, and the world can see you're out of your depth. So stand down with dignity and let the adults in the room finish what you can't manage or control. This moment demands leadership. Not vanity, not panic, and not your egos, and specifically not talking heads playing with the fate of nations. And let me say this clearly, because someone has to. America is starting to lead with strength again, and will bring stability again. America will protect peace again, not with weakness, not with chaos, but with clarity. The world doesn't need more globalist middlemen. The world doesn't need more EU gatekeepers. The world needs American leadership grounded in reality, sovereignty, and strength, not endless wars. Not backroom deals, not manufactured fear campaigns. And to be clear, this doesn't mean America goes alone. It means America leading with courage so peace has a chance to survive. And that's exactly what's happening right now. Whether the warmongers like it or not. Join me on Patreon for more.